Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat, sa mga kabataan na serious sa mga social issues at sa mga kasama ko po dito sa presidential table. We are all from POPCOM. We are very fortunate and we thank the organizers, the Student Council and the College of Social Science and Philosophy for inviting the government sector to share our views on the controversial reproductive health bill. Ang POPCOM po ay national agency mandated as the Central Planning, Monitoring, Coordinating Agency for Population and Development Matters in the country. We were asked to give our views on the pros and cons on the reproductive health bill filed in Congress. Since we are in government, mukhang pros na lang po ang may share ko. We are for the reproductive health bill, expectedly because our functions is on population and development matters, and reproductive health is a component of our population policy and program. But before I share the views of the government sector, let me just share situations on our population at present. These are just selected demographic indicators of the present situation in the country as we compare the Philippine situation to our neighboring countries, ASEAN countries like Thailand. First slide first. Yes. We are comparing the Philippines situation with Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, and Cambodia. If you notice, if we compare the Philippine situation in our neighboring countries in the different indicators like per capita income, GDP, population growth rate, population, and then poverty incidence, unemployment rate, total fertility rate, contraceptive prevalence rate, maternal mortality rate, under 5 mortality rate, and infant mortality rate, bida pa rin po ang Philippines in terms of these indicators, but bida in terms that we are lagging behind among our neighboring countries. If you notice, our population growth rate is higher than our neighboring countries. That is resulting to the absolute number of our population, which is higher than some of the Asian countries, and poverty incidence is high as compared to the other, and unemployment rate, total fertility rate is one indicator that Philippines is lagging behind. We could see the relationships of these different indicators. Let's look at the total population and population growth rate of the country over the years based on the different census that are conducted in the country. Our PGR from 1903, which is pegged at 2.87%, up to 2.04 in the latest census of 2007, medyo, if you notice, there is a fluctuating growth of our population. But at the end of the 2007 census, hindi siya masyadong bumaba. Bumababa siya, but the decrease of our PGR is very slow. And on the other hand, our population is consistently increasing. We are now 88.5% based on 2007 and estimated to be 94 million in 2010. So the total population grew by more than tenfold from 1903 census to 2007. This is, next slide. This is description of our population, characteristics or structure in terms of age and sex. Our population is shaped on an inverted pyramid where we have a broad base in the young young component or portion of our population. Our population is predominantly young, with 37% below 15 years old and 15% belonging to age group 15 to 24. Pag inad mo yung dalawang yon, almost 50% of our population is young. And there is an implication of this young population. This young population, after 15 years, will be the next group or sector, portion of our population who are at the reproductive age, and they are this group that contributes to high fertility in the country. If we are to compare it with Thailand, the other side, you notice iba yung shape ng Thailand. Lumiliit na yung base niya as compared to ours, which is broad, expansive. So what's happening in Thailand, as you notice in the first slide, their total fertility or fertility rate is decreasing already. So that's the reason why the broad base is decreasing. But the reproductive age portion is nagkaano siya, may bulge, meaning the productive age group is increasing and the young population group is decreasing. And of course, there is an implication of the shape of the population of Thailand. Next, let's go to the RH bill. With this situation of the country, the more that the government, specifically POPCOM, saw the need for the approval of the reproductive bill. POPCOM supports the enactment of a clear, sound, and consistent national policy on population, responsible parenthood, and reproductive health to be able to address the situation of our population that were previously presented. The RH bill will serve as the national policy in the implementation of the reproductive health program in the country, as well as to implement one common strategy for the local government units who are the implementors at the local level in the provision of reproductive health services. The RH bill will give couples the freedom to decide whether or not to plan their families or to space or limit their children. It will further ensure an enabling environment to guarantee universal accessibility, affordability, and equality, the provision of quality information and services on family planning and responsible parenthood, especially among the poor, the marginalized, and those living in the far-flung and isolated areas. The bill's provision, as discussed by our former speaker, if implemented, will help the country achieve its MDG targets. We're all familiar with the Millennium Development Goals. I don't need to elaborate on this already, but there are three MDG goals that are being addressed by the reproductive health bill. MDG 5 is improve maternal health, where we are targeting to reduce by 3/4 between 1990 and 2015 the maternal mortality ratio, and target 5.5 to achieve by 2015 universal access to reproductive health. Let's look at the maternal mortality ratio in the country based on the 2008 National Demographic Health Survey. As you can see, it is decreasing, the maternal deaths in the country. But if you look at the MDG target of 52 deaths per 1,000 live births, 100,000 live births, we're still far behind on our latest situation of 162 births per 100,000 live births. So we still need a lot of efforts to reduce further the maternal mortality ratio. And what are the causes of maternal deaths in the country? Most of the cause of deaths among mothers is pregnancy and childbirth related. Habang sila ay buntis, habang sila ay nanganganak, yun ang cause ng deaths. And if there are more pregnancies, the possibility of more maternal deaths is high. Some of the causes, specific causes of maternal deaths are hypertension, hemorrhages, and unsafe abortion which are happening while the mothers are pregnant. One cause of high population growth is total fertility rates. Total fertility rate is the average number of children born to a woman during her childbearing years of 15 to 49 years of age. And our TFR, average number of children, is decreasing also over the years as a result of the different national demographic surveys conducted in the country. You see the actual TFR is decreasing from 6 children in 1973 NDS to 3.3% at 3.3 children in the 2008 NDHS. So, kumukonti naman yung average number of children. Our Filipino couples are opting for smaller number of, smaller size of the family, from 6 to 3.3. But you see the other bar in the graph, the green one, you see the wanted fertility. Ilan ba ang gustong anak ng ating mga mag-asawang Pilipino? They want to have less number of children. So there is always a one-child gap between their desired and their actual number of children. Why is this happening? They may want already to limit their children, but they are not able to limit or space their children. This is what we call the unmet need for family planning. So bakit hindi sila nagpa-family planning? Marami ding mga dahilan, no? But let's look at first the unmet need for family planning. In the country, you see we have next slide please. We have an increasing unmet need for family planning among our couples of productive age. From 17% in 2003 to 22% in 2008. Bakit tumataas pa yung mga gustong mag-family planning pero hindi sila nagpa-family planning? And we have a high unmet need for limiting number of children in 2008. From 9% to 13% in 2003 to 2008. So this is again the challenge. How do we able to provide for the family planning needs of our Filipino couples? Just to highlight yung characteristics of those sector of our populations who have unmet need for family planning. There is a high unmet need among our rural couples, among those who are less educated, and among those who are at the lowest quantile of our population, or the poorest of the poor. Ironically, this sector of our population are the ones who have large number of children. So, gusto nilang mag-family planning, pero patuloy pa rin silang nag-aaral.